Gene Rodenberry died this week at the age of 70. But in those 70 years, he took us boldly into the world of future, and it was the future according to Rodenberry.
Star Trek. It was a rather simple idea, but in its simplicity lay its brilliance and Roddenberry's genius. Morality, racial tolerance, courage, and sensitivity were not just at work on Star Trek, they were Roddenberry's prime directive.
Last June in Hollywood, Paramount Studios dedicated a building in Gene Roddenberry's honor. And as was befitting this science fiction pioneer, virtually every cast member from his 2 Star Trek series was on hand.
This edifice is named the Gene Roddenberry Building, and rightly so. Gene's soaring imagination and masterful organization ability brought forth a growing phenomenon. His name is on the building.
Space, the final frontier.
When I wrote those lines 24 years ago, the final frontier, I said, yeah, I understand. That's what it's about, isn't it?
Roddenberry didn't stumble upon Star Trek overnight. The El Paso, Texas native moved to L.A. as a small child and later flew B-17 bombers in World War II, stationed at Guadalcanal. He became a writer, working on several 50s and 60s television shows.
I was a freelance writer who got tired of writing scripts about nothing at all, and I began reading science fiction. And so I dreamed up the Star Trek idea so that I could comment on man and society.
The original 1964 pilot cast movie star Jeffrey Hunter as Captain Pike, along with Leonard Nimoy as Mr. Spock. But when Star Trek premiered in 1966, William Shatner took on the lead of Captain Kirk.
We have the right
to wage war, Captain, to kill millions of innocent people, to destroy life on a planetary scale. Is that what you're defending?
My own father, he sat there the first night Star Trek was on the air, and he waited and saw the whole thing. They went out and apologized to all the neighbors. And this was the way it was in those days. We didn't have scientists going around talking about the probability of extraterrestrial life.
Today, of course, Star Trek is an American institution, a highly successful syndicated series. The Next Generation is enjoyed throughout the world, and there have been 5 feature films with the original cast. A 6th movie will be out in December.
When Gene Roddenberry called us in the spring of '69 and said, "It has been nice working with you, hope we can do it again sometime," no one considered that prophetic.
Happily, Gene Roddenberry was able to enjoy his moment in the sun last June. With wife Majel Barrett, known as Nurse Christine Chappell to Trekkies by his side, this TV pioneer reflected on his life and career with characteristic good humor.
You get no end of credit for just going to an office every day and writing your daydreams. All I've done in Star Trek is have fun and daydream, and Paramount has graciously given me an office to do that in, has paid me more money than I really feel I deserve. And they earn more for themselves than I really feel they deserve.
See this picture here? This is how sweet a man this guy is. Just the way that picture looks. I was in the commissary about a year ago doing, right after I had done Star Trek The Next Generation as a Klingon. As you know, I'm a huge Star Trek.
Well, this was a big deal for you when you did it.
I look up from my food, and there's Gene Roddenberry standing there. He says, "I just want to thank you. I want to introduce myself, John, and thank you for doing Star Trek." And I'm like, "You want to thank me?" I mean, that series, both of them and the movies, really changed the way people look at that type of television, science fiction television.
And a lot of people's lives personally as well.
He was fond of saying in all of his shows, "Live long and prosper," and he did.
He certainly did, and Roddenberry always envisioned the universe of the 23rd century as a hopeful place, and that will remain his legacy, that there is hope in the future, and in that hope lies the greatness of the human spirit.